I got all pretty to do this video to basically rant about where the magic has gone. I'm gonna tell you where I found it today, okay? I was cleaning something out, like the laundry room, okay? And I found a box full of these. They're teacup saucers, teacup and saucer set. It's a set. Like I've got 6 cups and saucer sets that I had gotten at the thrift store like a decade ago. And I had put them up because I don't have any room because I tend to use the same like 5 mugs. But look how beautiful this is. Like it's a whole set of them. And y'all know how I like color. So I decided to drink my coffee out of it. I don't really need saucer because I'm not having a little tea cake and I don't continuously stir my tea or coffee, so I don't have a spoon. But just for spills, to not get stuff on me. And this is the magic today. This is the magic that I found today. I just love it so much. Why am I not drinking out of the... Anyway, so I decided to get dressed up because I needed some beauty in my life. My life has been utterly shit for the last 2 weeks, okay? My insurance, my homeowner's insurance, they're no longer servicing my state, so they were going to cut us off, and we had to shop around for insurance, right, for our house. And I was like, oh my gosh, because we had a really good rate with the company we had. Basically, in a nutshell, the cheapest policy that I could find for my house meant that my escrow, my payment, my mortgage payment every month is going to go up $100 a month. Not happy about that, okay? Not happy. And then, I'm gonna set this down. And then my 15-year-old expressed his want to get into a school sport. Never happened before. Never happened before, okay? We're really not sporty people. So that came out of left field. And so I was like, you know what? If you want to try this, I guess I'm open to that. But I started reading up on it. I went to the meetings. I'm gonna say this: it is incredibly expensive to be in a school sport, for it to be glorified working out with a team. Okay, they work out 4 days a week. And then in the summer, and then when the season starts, they still work out and practice 4 days a week. And then the last 2 days of the week, the last day of the week is game day, right? 5 days a week. So this is going to be 100% him, 200% me. And, you know, there's so much involved. All for, like, and sudden heart attack paperwork and concussion paperwork and broken bone paperwork. And you have to not only purchase there's dues for the sport, like a flat rate, and then you have to purchase insurance because all of this bad stuff could happen, right? And then I talked to one of the big moms of the sport, and she talked to me for like an hour, answered a lot of my questions, all for the end to be like, your child's going to get hurt. And I was like, why the hell does anyone do this? I don't know. And then all for me to like almost sign on the dotted line, right? Like conditioning starts next week, and all for me to sign on the dotted line. The last page, the fine print said, there's no guarantee your child will play in an actual game. There's no refunds. And I was like, okay, so I'm going to put all this money and effort and volunteering and getting my kid to and from practice 5 days a week, okay? All for him not even to be on the field on a game day, because it's performance-based, okay? And I understand performance-based sports. I do, okay? I'm an adult. But it's just a lot. So after that, I suffered from migraines because I think in my opinion, I think that I suffer and always have suffered migraines because thinking is my hobby, and I ruminate so harshly, especially if there's a time constraint on me in terms of like when the decision has to be made. It's not just like whenever I decide. I have like a time constraint on when the decision has to be made, and I ruminate on it and chew on the decision, right? So there was a time constraint on the sport decision, and then there was a time constraint on the mortgage because they gave us the paperwork a month and a half before they were going to close us down, and I had a month to shop around. And then of course you have to cancel and start the policy within that week, that last week, in order for it not to either like overlap or whatever. So I was suffering from a migraine for 2 days. The way my migraines work, and to be honest, I think a lot of people who suffer from migraines do this. It goes at a peak, so it starts to hurt, and then it goes up to a peak, and like to where you're in the fetal position in your bed with all the lights off, okay? And then it kind of gradually comes back down. But then that third day, for me, that third day results in a heaviness in the head, a weakness. There's a weakness in the head. It almost feels like my head's not attached to my body anymore, but also simultaneously it weighs more than it should. It's heavy. It's heavy on my neck, and an overall weakness in terms of like memory and cognition and things like that. So I was weeked out from a migraine for like 3 days because of all this. And today, I said all that to say this. Why didn't I go to my magic? Why didn't I go to my magic? Why didn't I go to my practice? Why didn't I go to that thing over there in the corner that I have, that I can utilize? And then, like I said, today, when I was, I got my beautiful teacup thing out. I have to sneeze. I was stirring my coffee, and I have this like, and some of us do, right? We have these like quirks, right? The way we stir, and I do this like kind of, like a drawing this weird sigil, right? That can't even remember anymore. And I stopped myself because I was like, I do this every day for like that first cup of coffee, right? And I no longer think about it. I no longer think about what I'm doing. It's become such a habit. Now I know that when I started that, when I came up with the way in which I stirred the coffee, okay, had a magical intention behind it. It was a way to start the day intentionally, with a good, like, I'm looking forward to this first cup kind of a mindset, right? And I was looking forward to the first cup mapping out the day, because it's almost the first thing I do in the morning is have coffee. And then I stirred it way back when I started this, I started it in this kind of way. Now at first I thought about it, right? But then after a while it became such a habit that I no longer think about it until today. And I was like, I've been doing this for so long. Is it even magical anymore? Is it working? Like, if your mind isn't in it, if the intention isn't in it, does that quirk, now it's become a personality trait. Now it's become a quirky way I stir my coffee. That's it. Okay? Is the magic gone? Is the magical intention gone because my mind's not there? My mind's not in it. I'm not plugged in, right? Is that a thing? When magic, and there's so many, I was about to say a million, but there ain't. There's tiny little things that I started doing years and years ago. I started doing because it had an intention behind it. It had some kind of like, if I do this like this, it'll mean this, and it'll have this kind of intention, right? Like the way in which, like the order in which I wash my body, okay? Or the way in which I do ritual baths. I don't do those a lot because our tub is like a shower tub combination. It's not a lot of room in that thing, okay? So I barely do it. But when I want to ritualize the shower or ritualize the bath, I do it in a certain way, but I'm not even consciously present. I just do it that way, and I let the little, I don't know, magical fireflies do their thing. But I'm not there. I'm not present. I'm not there to say, to actively think about this little quirk now. It's become a habit, yes, and it's become a quirk, and it's become a cool little way that I wash myself in these like circular motions or whatever it is, right? But I'm not thinking about it, you know? Like when I go back there, I have a way, like if it's a ritual bath night and I just need to cleanse it out. Usually I only do that when I feel like I need to cleanse, okay? Cleanse, exorcise the demons, okay? And when I do that, there's a way in which I put the candles. There's a way in which I light the candles. There's a way in which I dim the lights. Okay, and I like have an order to all this. And then the herbs or the mesh tea thing that I have that goes in the bath, or the things I put in the bath. And it all has this order, right? But usually, and for a long time, I usually just do it in this order, and I'm not even thinking about the magic. I'm not even thinking about, why am I doing it this way? Why am I doing it that way? Is it a quirk? Because like I said, when I started the ritual, I told myself back in the day, this is the way I'm going to do it in order to enforce the magic, to enforce my intention. But then it just became something I do in the bathroom. Basically, if there's no processing power to what you're doing, is it even magical anymore? Are our magical habits becoming just that? Quirks, personality traits. Now, I will say personality traits hold their own magic. Okay? They do. They make you up. But I don't know, I got to thinking about all the little quirks that I do because I was stirring this beautiful teacup thing in that special way, and it didn't mean anything. I'll say also, I didn't feel anything. I didn't put anything into the cup, into the spoon. I wasn't infusing the coffee with anything. I was just like, ha, ha. And that's it. Nothing. No magic. No cognition. No nothing. And it also got me thinking, because it's funny, because I posted on Instagram about the coffee. Because right after I was thinking about the habit, I thought about the little joys. The little joys. Because it's so cool in this kind of mundane magic thing, in the mundane magic realm, it is so cool to do certain little things throughout the day or throughout the week, or, you know, the little things matter. They make up they make up so much of your magical essence that, to me, it's so good to come up with little quirks, but they have to have magical stuff behind them. And then when they become habit, you have to find a way to unlock that and say, okay, this is no longer working. I gotta change it up. Okay, it's like your alarm on your phone. Okay, I have an alarm that is like a ringtone. Okay, on my phone. After a while, I don't even notice it. I sleep right through it, right? And that leads to its own kind of problems. But you have to change it up. You have to change it. When it gets to that point, and I have to recognize that, okay, like I've been sleeping through my alarm for the last week. I need to change that ringtone. Go through my phone and change it. And that will wake my brain up better because I've gotten used to it. And so there's got to be some kind of way that we wake ourselves up from the little things, the habits that we form from magic, there has to be kind of like a way to wake up the processing, wake up the RAM. It got me thinking about the little joys, and I wrote this thing on Instagram. I don't know if y'all seen it. Okay, I'm barely over there, but if you want to follow me, the handle's below somewhere. But I said, like, would your coffee taste better if you didn't believe in hell? I don't know why I came up with that. It just blasted out of my mind, and I was like, huh. And like I said, I had this like kind of a magical rumination about hell and the little joys, right? And say you've done something in your life and you believe in hell. You believe in, well, I won't say believe in, I believe in hell, but I believe it's internal. I mean, if you believe, and no shade, but if you do, but I believe, like, if you believe in the pit, okay? If you believe in the pit, and there were things that will send you there, in my opinion, okay? So you believe in the pit, and you've probably done some stuff in your life that would send you to the pit, right? How then could the little joys eradicate that? Eradicate the heaviness that you've done some shit. You've done some shit in your life. You have done some shit in your life that's going to send you to the pit, okay? How much light must you have to eradicate that much darkness? I got to thinking about the little joys in life. That's how and why, I think, that's how and why we come up with these little quirks that have the magic behind them. Because we're trying to fill the darkness that we may have, okay, with light. Get out of a rut, you shove some light on that thing. You have this indecisive, time-constraining, migraine-inducing stuff, and you don't. You're trying to force some, you're trying to shove some light on it, trying to find the little joy. So it's about magical habits and what we can do to reawaken the processing power therein, okay? And the little joys that we have to find and make magic in the little things, and turn on the light every so often in the dark times. And then, or in the darkness, not necessarily dark times. But then also, throughout the two things I was talking about earlier, my homeowner's insurance and all of a sudden out of nowhere, my kid wants to be sporty, okay? Of those two things, they were both time constraining, they were migraine inducing, I had to make a decision fast, I had to, shop around fast, and okay, that's life. Life is like that. And that's not a complaint, it's just like life is like that sometimes, but I didn't even take any of that stuff to my magic. So I've got this thing with the coffee, the way I stir it, that's become a habit, no longer even has any magic behind it, and I woke myself up to it today, or when I found the teacup. I woke myself up to that, and I was thinking, okay, we are awakening this, I gotta change it up. Keep changing it up so I can feel the magic flowing, right? But then, why didn't I take the stuff that is, the stuff that's fleeting, the stuff that I could have taken to my magic? I didn't. Why? Like, I know I had like a month, right, to shop around for homeowner's insurance, and I was so wrapped up in the life part of it, because life tends to work itself out. You don't have to utilize magic, right? But then I got to thinking, I was stuck in the feels. I felt all the feels, I felt all the migraine stuff, indisposed myself through this sludgy portion of life, the little small sludgy portion of life. And I didn't take the paperwork or a fucking house key, because like when I'm doing house magic, sometimes I use my house key, because I'm pretty much, I like sympathetic magic, so I use my house key or an effigy of some kind of the house. And I didn't do any of that. I didn't go over there and at least plop something down or light a fucking candle and say, guide me through this, you know? I didn't do any of that. I didn't do any of that. Nothing. And with the sport thing, I was thinking, you know, why didn't I take this to tarot? I asked the tarot some of the dumbest shit possible, okay? That really gets me in this poetic, otherworldly realm, okay? But for the day-to-day stuff, I'm like stuck here and I'm like, how am I supposed to be a sport mom? I don't even know what the fucking field, like, I don't know shit about. Right? So I'm sitting here and I'm like, and I was like, why didn't I just shuffle the fucking cards? Like, use my gifts. Use what I know to help me through the decision-making process. I didn't even go over there and shuffle a fucking deck. That was like, what would it be like if we did this because we would be living and breathing this sport for the next 6 months. Okay? Why didn't I just shuffle the deck and just pull some cards to see what this could look like for the family? Why didn't I do that? I didn't even pray. You know, like something as simple as prayer, right? I haven't always been I was a prayer in my adolescence because I was kind of like a brought up Christian, right? Like I was brought up Christian. We were taught to pray. I have learned in the last few years the power of prayer, but as you know, to even my abstract expressions of deity, right? But it's like I could have sat on my back deck because I tend to go out there when it's night. Like after the baby goes to sleep, I go out there and kind of just relax in the night air, right? It helps me. Why wasn't I out there lighting my candles, thinking about the universe and goddess and blah, blah, blah. And like, I can just imagine me going like this, rocking back and forth, rocking back and forth with this indecisiveness and this life stuff draining it out of me, going like this and going, dark mother goddess, I need help through this. Like, you know, like I'm being theatrical here. I don't know. That sounds powerful to me. That sounded powerful. I think she was listening there. But like something like that, just something easy, like help guide me through this. Nothing ever came out of my mouth. So where is the magic? Why do we only go to the magic in certain times? Then why do we put magic on certain things and then fucking forget about it because it's become a habit? We have to keep it alive, keep it present, keep it flowing. And it all seems like at the end of the day, I'm breathing properly now. My head's not hurting anymore. Where was the magic in all of that? Magic is magic. Where's it at? What are we doing? What am I doing? What are you doing? That needs some processing power. And then where's other times where you could start the engine on something? I could start something. I could start something new. I don't know. I would say my advice, no, not my advice. Because I don't have any damn advice. My question is, what in your life has become a magical habit that you don't even think about? There's no processing power, no cognition behind that. And what has been happening in your life that, like me, that has used up a lot of what I would say processing power, and I didn't even take that crap to my practice. So, I don't know. I just thought I'd ramble about that. I think I had wrote down some notes about magical habits and, you know, stuff like that. But then stirring my coffee, thinking about hell, thinking about the little joys in life, I was like, I guess I'll just talk about all of it. So y'all let me know. Y'all let me know what's dredging And then how do you fix it? And then how do you figure out when to take it and when to hold back? And then when you have put it somewhere, it's dissipated anyway. I don't know. I hope your day has been magical. Do something today with some processing power behind it. Put some magic into something. For Ma. Okay? Much love.